Hello guys and gals, this is Mikiway and today I'm bringing you a tutorial for a one-white tileable villager trading and or sorting hall. And as you have seen in the intro, it works in a way that when you send villagers out, they will go over there, ride the lava roller coaster, the minecarts will get up here, be collected by a cactus, and then this picks up new villagers and the new minecart is sent out as soon as this guy is out to the hall, and they will try to find a free spot just by going around, and they will enter that spot and close it off as soon as they are in there. Other features of this trading hall are that as soon as there are no minecarts in there anymore, so the trading hall is full, as we can see as all these pistons are extended, this redstone line here will extend all the way down to this guy here, who is now raised so high above the doors that he cannot see them anymore, and therefore these guys here will stop to breed. So why would you need them breeding when the hall is full anyway, right? But in 1.7 it becomes even better than that, because then these iron pressure plates, which these guys are standing on right now, will measure how many entities are standing on it. Right now it's just counting items, but in 1.7 it's also counting all entities as villagers, zombies, creepers, or whatever you may want to count. And we have a comparator set up, and it's on comparator mode, so as long as the signal strength doesn't exceed the signal strength of this comparator which comes out of this furnace, which is set up in a way so you can see that over here. 55 items would equal 171 villagers, so as soon as you have this amount up here, you would have the breeding cell shut off, because you don't want to crash your world with tons of villagers, and 171 might already be a bit much. You can go lower than that. I just wrote it down all here. And also worth mentioning is that I included a way to if you get a really good villager, let's say this blacksmith here was a really good guy, and I wanted to get him out of here, I would just flick this lever, which then turns this rail over here, so he will not ride the roller coaster, but he will go out this side. And if I now just push him out, he will come out this way, and also he will trigger this detector rail and dispense a new minecart into the system, so the trading hall still stays filled up nicely. Also, in case you filled in too many minecarts, you will lose a few villagers by that, but any villager who cannot fit into the trading hall will just go down here, die in the lava, and the minecart will be collected and put back in here. Also, if you send out a ton of these villagers, you might just want to fill this up every once in a while. Okay. Also, I designed this villager hall here, and this is the north direction, this is the west direction. Theoretically, it's possible to build this into any direction, but be warned, if you build it to east, it seems to have some issues, and for north and south, it might have these issues as well, and it is really, really annoying to place these rails up here. I will show that, but it's really nothing that you really want to bother with, as you will see. Okay, to start building this, I think it's a good idea to start with the breeder in the first place, because without villagers you don't need the trading hall, and you might want it set up in a way so you can just have it have the villagers come up already when you have this here all set up. And so as you can see, here is the wall of the villager trading hall, so you can expand this as long as you want. This here is 32 long. I think for the tutorial we will probably also just do 32, but more than 32 is really not needed. I think we did 64 on the ZipKrowd, but it's just making the ways longer for you to move along. And especially in 1.7, when you have a threshold up here, you will not need as many spaces as you will kick out most of the guys immediately, most likely. So yeah, this would be the first spot, and then you go back 1, 2, 3 blocks. And yeah, here next to the rails, I dug a 9x9 wide hole, and this is going down to wide 20. We are up at 64 right now. You can go a bit higher than that, but I would recommend you to build it in a way that these guys cannot breed under any circumstances. So these guys should be at least 34 blocks away from the village, which is down there with the doors. So that being said, I've made a little setup here in front, and yeah, let's start with the tutorial. Okay, down in the hole, find your southeast corner and go up to the 9th block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Place a block, place your daylight sensor on it, and then you can also already place 2 blocks here and also reclaim that block. So we just need 1 block of skylight access here. We will place the doors down there later on. And then he'll go to the 4th block, 1 block higher, so on the block of the daylight sensor, then 1, 2, 3 blocks out. And here build a 2x3 platform like this. And yeah, in survival you will of course want a bit more space to be able to walk on it and all that stuff. But yeah, so this will be where you hold your villagers. This will be the breeding cell, this will be the way up. And yeah, the next thing you want to do is get this all the way up. Okay, I extended these all the way up for the the deviating villagers when they are grown up. This is Tango's design, as you might already have noticed, and yeah, all the credits for that go to him, except for the little change that I did to stop the breeding when it's not necessary. And yeah, under this daylight sensor you can also already place some doors. You need the total of 6. So okay, so this is already done. And also we need a place for the villager at the bottom to detect the doors, and I'd suggest to take the spot right below here. So take that spot, 1, 2, 3, come 3 blocks up, and then yeah, you can make yourself a little platform around it. And yeah, on that platform place a piston, place a glass block, and then go and yeah, cover that so your villager is standing in there nicely. And yeah, to get your villagers in, you can just go and to get in there and place a sign over here, which you will need later on anyway. And then you can place your water, so it's spilling any. And yeah, so in order to get our villagers down, you can just first of all take out this block here, and yeah, up here you might just want to build yourself like some spot to push the villagers in there, maybe something like this. And if you are using water to push them, you might also want to place a sign here so it doesn't flow all the way down. And then when you got your villagers in, so let's get a villager, and then put him in there, just use water, water current to get him down there. And yeah, this guy, when he's falling down there, will of course take a little falling damage, but that should be fine. Yeah, after you get your guy down here, you can close this off and then just drop 2 additional ones down, which you then just transfer to the cell over there, however you like it. I won't cover this here, as the tutorial will get pretty long anyway. So you just get your breeding villagers in here, and then you set this up correctly. So here we take 2 blocks. This is a little fix that Tango also already mentioned. If you just do 1 piece of redstone, this will not get out the new villagers in case that someone sleeps right at the beginning of the night, because the light level will not go down to 0. And then you place your pulse shortener and have a repeater on maximum delay, have a torch, place a block on that, then a torch to the side of that block, and come 2 blocks over here. Then place a sticky piston facing into this glass block, and here goes a redstone dust and a repeater on 1 tick. And the only thing left to do is just putting a sticky piston over here. And yeah, so that's the setup for your breeding cell. And also what you want to do is go and extend this here some blocks up, and then cover these here all with water, not forgetting to put a sign every now and then, so every 10 blocks or so should be fine. Yeah, make sure to have a water source block on every block that doesn't have a sign, because otherwise your villagers will not go up and just drown, as you might have already heard. Okay, I will finish this off later on off camera, and yeah, just checking here, I think all this is done. So let's continue on building the actual trading hall. Yeah, this is me from the future, and yeah, I kind of forgot to place a lever on here. If you want to the breeding to go on in here and no villagers being pushed out, you should have a lever on this block. The reason why they still are in here is because I made it to always stay for the tutorial world. And yeah, back to the tutorial. Okay, back up here, you want to fight the 3rd block on that side, which is going to be where the trading hall is, and then just take out the 3rd row and place torches there, and then place some blocks in the back and some over the torches, which is to power rails. And yeah, you just repeat that pretty much all the way across there, and then we go and take our powered rails and have 2 of these like here. Then we go and have 3 regular rails and a powered rail like this. And yeah, this is where the front of our trading hall will be, like where you stand here. The villagers will stand in these spots here. And yeah, if you trade a lot, I would recommend you to just put some hoppers here below, just to in case you accidentally drop some items on them and they land back here, that you do not accidentally have to grief in here to get them back. And yeah, you will most likely push out 1 or more villagers which you might not want to push out, and then you can just have a like alternating chests over here. Or another thing you could do is just have a hopper chain going all the way along and feeding into 1 chest that gets all the items that you accidentally drop back there, which is most likely the prettier solution, because this doesn't really look good. Okay, then to continue here, well, these rails here we will place later on, and to continue here you can already go up 3 blocks here, and yeah, these I would recommend you to just make upside down stairs of some kind, because it dents a little and looks maybe a bit better than just using blocks. But that's totally up to you. And yeah, on the back side here, what you want to do is just placing some upside down stairs. You can also use half slabs for that, like upside down slabs, but it has to be something that you can place a repeater on, and then that is not a full block, because yeah, full block would suffocate the villagers when they ride through, and you most likely do not want that to happen. So yeah, when we got these over here, you will go and grab yourself some repeaters and comparators and all that stuff, like all the redstone stuff except for dust, because dust is not really usable in one-wide tilable designs. And then up here, yeah, just repeaters facing into torches, facing into blocks, and then on these blocks place upward facing droppers. And on here you can also already place a line, and then from the bottom you can place downward facing droppers. These will be our dropper RS-Nor latches. And yeah, so what we do here is we place a sticky pistons facing down. Oh man, these hoppers causing me to glitch in. Okay, and then redstone blocks next to these. And yeah, finally we also want our stone buttons here in the front. So what happens if you push this button is that, yeah, this repeater signal turns off because the redstone block is away, so the torch turns on, and that powers this block, which powers this dropper. So the item which you put in the dropper, let's just put a rail in here, will go up. So now it's in the up position. So here, leave a 3-block gap, come to the other side, and here we will want our tripwire hooks to be, and in the middle of these we want some string. Hep. And yeah, when something goes through this triggers the top dropper, and the item is back down here. Okay, so much about that. Now what we do is we do it like here, have a comparator taking the signal from the top dropper, then feed this into a block, and then we also need some half slabs, and these will go right here. And then we have our sticky piston with a block in front of it, and yeah, on here we just place 2 repeaters. Unfortunately, none of these can be dust. You might think so because, yeah, it's 2 of them and you might be able to alternate it, but somehow it seems to update the droppers and does not work reliably. So yeah, you will just have to use 2 repeaters over here. Let's just continue this for the 4 cells. Right. Also make sure we have an item in each of these droppers. And okay, so now these would all be full when the droppers are in the bottom one, and then we can go and place all the tripwire hooks. And yeah, so this is all set up, and now if I place all these comparators, it should be working properly. And as you can see, I did it in the wrong order. So let's take these back out again, place our comparators, replace these here, and put these back in. So all open, all closed. Easy as that. Okay, and now what you want to do is just, yeah, pretty much expand this all the way over however long you want your trading hall to be, how many villagers you want it to contain. So I just almost finished extending this all the way out, and I noticed a mistake I made, because these pistons here go directly on the repeaters. Before that I had them down there, which was the wrong way. And yes, so these go all up here all the way along, and then you have some iron blocks on them. Okay, so now that this is all done, let's get to the rails. And yeah, what we want to do here is just come out 1 block and up, and yeah, now I'll just close these all off. If I touch tripwire, should be a bit careful about that, because it's annoying to open them all up again. which we will need to do if you want to get villagers in there afterwards. So yeah, and then you just go up diagonally one block and have it set up like this. Then to power your, yeah, now I will just have to go through the tripwire. Well, no I don't. I just can go on the other side. Yeah, to power all the powered rails up there, you can just have levers on these blocks. Again, you can also use redstone blocks if you desire to. And but yeah, I think levers here don't really hurt, since they are easy to place and they are really cheap with only the cobble and the stick needed to make them. Okay, then back up here we need our rails back. So take normal rails and powered rails, and then yeah, starting with placing two rails, do this pattern all the way along. So you just have one rail, two rails, one rail, two rails, 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way along. And now that this is done, you take your normal rails and just put them in the gaps, and as you can see, they will curve over there already, except for this one, for which we need to make some other rail over here, so it curves over nicely. And then to set this all up correctly, go and place a block above each of these regular rails. Okay, like this. And then place a rail on top of each of these blocks here. And then what you can do is just start here on the left and place the rails like this, and then it will just work out perfectly nice. Okay, and after that you can just reclaim these blocks with the rails on top and have your setup for this. Just as a fair warning, do not have redstone near these rails, because these are not update proof. You can make them update proof by using redstone blocks or something, but yeah, I would not really suggest to just use redstone here to make it a bit easier and cheaper. So down here we also want the villagers to go out that way, and for that we need to place the rails so they all curve to this direction. So you just place two rails and then take out the right one when you're looking from this side, and you just do this all the way over, so until you have it set up that all the rails face this way. Okay, and now just for completeness, how to place the rails into another direction. So start with doing this over here. Yeah, as you can see, the order in which you place the rails actually is important here. Yeah, like this, already messed up. So what we do is we place these rails up here, then place rails over here. Then we take sticky pistons to take these, power all these, unpower all these to get rid of the blocks on top. Then you can place your blocks on top as usual and go and place the rest of your rails. Yeah. So it's not really enjoyable and I would not recommend it, but yeah, if you wish so, yeah, also you can remove these. And now you know why I wouldn't bother with placing the trading hall in the other direction. Next we are going to place our pickup station, and for that we go here and do this S shape somewhat. Also put the block here already, and then we go and come down 3 blocks. like this, and then we make this 4 long, and on the 5th we place a block to stop the minecart. Then we can power these down here and go all the way up here. Here we have a detector rail, there a powered rail, there a powered rail, there another detector rail, and these are normal rails. And yeah, in order to power these, you can place a torch or a lever on this one. Okay, then we will need to grab power from this detector rail, and in order to do so, you just come here and do this repeater thing and place redstone dust here, then have another block over here and another repeater over here to grab the power from this block which is getting powered, and then we just go over here and place a sticky piston. This is the block where the villagers will stand on later on, and yeah, then what we can do is just extend this tunnel here all the way up to where we need it. Make sure to close it off to not mess up any redstone, and we will need another water bucket and also some signs in order to make the villagers not drown. So we go here and then make sure we have water source blocks in all of these. And yeah, since we need to cover this redstone, this will go all the way along. Some dust over here to power the piston actually, and here a block for the piston. This will be to, yeah, when the minecart doesn't pick up a villager or it just comes down, this piston will extend and just align the villagers to this side of the block, so they get picked up by the minecart driving by. So you will not have any idle villagers here in the long run. Also, we can go and encase the cell already. So this is where they are going to stand. And we can go and encase this here, and here we can just make it too wide at one point and then go and drop our villagers in that hole over here. Again, we just place a sign to block the water, and then I don't have a water bucket anymore. Let's get this one, and yeah, water will get the villagers down here. Great, so that is done. Let's cover this up. Okay, and now for the redstone that's going to happen over here, we are already going to set this up a bit, and what we are going to need for that is comparator, a furnace, and an iron pressure plate, which we are going to put in the spot where the villagers are going to stand. You don't need this redstone at all in 1.6, it doesn't do anything. But yeah, so this way the trading hall is already set up for 1.7, and yeah, you can just check out that board over there to check whether how many items you need in there, that you get a certain threshold of villagers up here until the breeding stops. Okay, let's continue to building this station over here, which brings in the minecarts. Okay, so to build this up, we start with placing blocks over here. Here we go one block up and place 2 powered rails and a normal rail, and then just a rail here on top to make this curved and reclaim that block. We could also have placed a block there, but then we would have messed up this rail, and since we didn't want to do that, we just place it one block up. Okay, then we have our dispenser over here, which will dispense the minecarts on these rails. Then they will go down here and yeah, pick up a villager in case there is any. The reason why this is going down is because when there is no villager in here, we have an empty minecart detector over here. The minecart will just go up to the detector rail and then go back down again until it finally picks up a villager. Okay, then on top of this hopper we can also already place a sand and a cactus, and yeah, to fill in the dispenser we place a chest over here, and then we have 2 hoppers here. This is just to make sure when minecarts arrive in quick succession that the minecarts don't get destroyed by the cactus, but they just get picked up. And yeah, you might also want to encase this in glass so no minecarts can spill over all over the place, and maybe a glass on the cactus so it doesn't grow if you don't want it to. And yeah, from here you can also just already build your way down, so you can continue your trek here later on. And yeah, I would suggest to make these all powered rails, because yeah, when you want to refill your trading hall, you might want to get the minecarts back as quick as possible, so you can get new villagers in. Also these can be powered, and then you just go and make sure that all these rails get powered, which just works with 1 lever apparently. Okay, to come back here, yeah, in a perfect world it would be really easy to set this up. So we would just go and yeah, pretty much place redstone here, and this would power the dispenser. But there's 2 reasons why this is not really nice to do. And one is, well, when there are no minecarts in here, no new ones will get dispensed, and therefore no minecart will ever travel over here to get you a new minecart. So we will need an empty minecart detector for that, and we are going to build that up over here. And yeah, for that we will need some other resources, and yeah, just go and place a comparator over here. And yeah, this setup might look a bit overcomplicated at first, but the reason for that we set it up this way is because we don't want it to be that we get multiple empty minecarts dispensed at once. The problem that I had was when the mine hall was full and I was pushing out many minecarts, this empty minecart thing triggered multiple times, and that made it so empty minecarts got dispensed when they shouldn't have. And yeah, now we are going to set this up properly with an RS-Nor Latch over here, and then that will make it so if there are minecarts arriving and this is empty, it will just dispense 1 minecart, and then the RS-Nor Latch gets reset once this rail here is triggered. And to do that, we just come over here, go 1 block up like this, and then we can just go another block up, have the redstone going here, and we need a repeater facing into this block. This will, on 4 ticks, this will actually make it so the new minecart gets dispensed, and then we can just have our RS-Nor Latch over here. And yeah, so usually this would be in this position, and then we can go and extend this all the way down. And here we will need a transparent block, so we can take a slab for that, because otherwise this would power this one here again. And yeah, actually this line interferes with the comparator, which doesn't matter at all, so you can set it up this way. So what will happen, new minecart arrives, and yeah, let's just quickly grab ourselves a minecart, and yeah, the minecart arrives somewhere up there, gets dispensed, and yeah, this RS-Nor Latch gets set. And yeah, now you can also nicely see the empty minecart detector. Yeah, and now this dispenser is already powered, so it won't get powered again. But if we now had a villager, which we could get if we use the villager spawn egg quickly, just put him in here. So as you can see, he gets aligned, gets picked up, and now when he drives over the rail, this will push this block back, and then because the delay is bigger than on that, so that it gets unpowered from this line already, the other this repeater will then power the dispenser again to dispense the new minecart, if there was any. If now there wasn't, so now again it's in this state, and then when the next minecart arrives, it will first go to the other state again. And yeah, so that's already working. Now let's include our shut off if the villager trading hall is full. This is just for 1.6. If you build this in 1.7, you can completely ignore this part, but for 1.6 you still need it. So what we want to do is just have some comparator, a pulse extender, which is to avoid the 1 tick pulses, basically. And yeah, so what happens if this signal turns off is that the signal cycles, and because here is 2 redstone dust, it will reduce signal strength by 1 every cycle it does until it finally turns off. Let's quickly demonstrate this. As you can see, the redstone gets darker and darker and darker, and now it's turned off. So this is a really nice compact way to install a pulse extender. And yeah, what we can do now is have our line going down. For this I prefer to use these iron block block piston sticky piston redstone block setups. And the reason for this pulse extender is just because, yeah, if you have multiple minecarts arriving and not arriving, this might turn it on and off in quick succession. And that because it takes some while to extend all these pistons, you will have it so it might have a 1 tick pulse on one of the pistons, which will, it would retract the piston head, but the redstone block would stay in this position, and yeah, that would just leave your breeding turned off, which you wouldn't want, of course. And yeah, since you don't want to do maintenance all the time, I suggest you use this. Another possibility you could of what you could do to wire this up down here is like a downward going torch tower or something like that. But I just like this design because it's only 1 wide, and if you decide to not dig out all this area and just have some space down here, you will most likely not want to dig a bigger hole as well. So this is also a nice option for you in that case. Okay, I'll just finish extending this down later on. And yeah, when at the moment you arrive down here, if this is not exactly at the same height as here, the only thing you want to do is to make sure that if the redstone block is in the down position, that you power this line so the villager gets transported to the up state. And yeah, so the only thing left to do here is to extend this line here over, and for that we just place dust over here and replace this dust with a repeater, because this will only have a low signal strength. And in 1.7 you can go and remove, yeah, pretty much the torch and this redstone over here, and also the top redstone block with the piston. And it's set up for 1.7, so you have that threshold thing. Okay, last thing to do is having this rail set up over here. And yeah, I just recommend to use, well, you don't have to use all powered rails, but I'll just do that for the sake of the tutorial, because it's just a bit quicker. And yeah, we will come back a bit. The reason is that you don't want to be close to the villagers when they are dying, and yeah, so let's count. You're standing here, and then you want to be away at least 16 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you want to travel out another 8 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that would be 16 more than 16 blocks away, or 16 blocks away. So let's just go down one further, and then we go and grab a normal rail, and then we can already start here by placing these up and down. Whoops, that's not what I intended. And yeah, this might also be nicer to do it this way. Just have these 3 down, then going up again. And then, yeah, actually we wanted to go only out only 8 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe add a turn here, and then just repeat this pattern a little more. Power it from somewhere, and then, yeah, we need a rail over here to go around the curve. And yeah, now we can grab ourselves some blocks. I personally like iron bars just because it looks cool. And yeah, we are going to build, as you will have guessed from what you saw before, this lava, well, you can call it a lava roller coaster. I think that's the way Panda called it. It's him who suggested this. Also, like, the rails up here are from JL. I didn't mention that beforehand, but yeah, he developed this system for the for our villager for our brewing system, and I just thought, what else can you do with that? And came up with this trading hall. Okay, and now you can build little cages over here. I'll just do this one and do the rest off camera. Just have a cage like this and place some lava here, and when the villagers ride through, they will just get lava damaged all the time. And you want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you would want to have at least 8 of these to kill the villagers quickly enough before they arrive up there, because yeah, otherwise you might run into some problems where they are close to you again when they come over here and you're coincidentally standing on this side somehow. Okay, then what we want to do is just connect these rails over here. Yeah, power this, and yeah, I'll finish this and be right back. Okay, so now that this is done, what's left to do is close this off. I already did it on the other side, so zombies cannot hit the side villagers. And well, anyway, make sure to light up all the areas sufficiently, really go crazy with the torches all over the place. And yeah, you might also maybe just place glowstone behind here. It makes the villagers glow a bit from the back, which is a really cool effect when it's a bit darker in there. And now if you want to, you can, this is completely optional, include a system to get out villagers, which you want to have at another place. For instance, a perfect iron villager, what we have on ZipKrowd, stuff like that. So all we need to do for that is just flick a lever here, and yeah, to wire this up, just go here, go down below, and just have, this is the block we wanted to have to be at, and then we place a redstone torch on that block and just wire this up. So if we now flick the lever, the rail will just turn to this direction. And yeah, we also do have want to have a dispenser here. So in case we did remove a villager from the system, we want this to be powered. Yeah, and now it's getting powered from the torch below that. So just use a repeater over here and we're good. So every time a minecart travels over this one, we can dispense a new minecart into the system with this dispenser. Yeah, and to fill this, maybe just put a chest over here, and then you can just have a hopper feed into it over here. And also, in case anything goes wrong or you miscounted the amount of minecarts you needed to put in there, we can just make it so the villagers who were too much gets just put over here. And yeah, if a villager arrives there, you definitely have too many minecarts in your system. And yeah, this should be a transparent block. So let's just use upside down slab for that, whatever. And yeah, here, close this off, have a lava bucket, and then just have this go all the way over, and maybe just to protect you from falling in there yourself by accident, have a rail up here so you can't walk down there. So yeah, this concludes the tutorial. Again, light up this place, go crazy with the torches. Mobs can spawn everywhere here if light level is sufficient, and you cannot really make it spawn proof, so just go and light this up everywhere, period. Also here for the front, while zombies cannot get to your villagers, it will lag out your world with the zombie tracking a lot if you do not light it up properly. So I suggest even lighting up a whole perimeter of 40 blocks a bit, like sufficiently that you don't get constant zombie lag issues at night. Okay, so I hope you liked the tutorial, and yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time.